this apple made. Oh, I'm going to go back to the garage. Hi, folks. It's Genie B Delishus. I'm celebrating today. As you all know, I'm back and I've lost weight, but today I decided to celebrate. Oops, so it was a little hard to pull the hose. I'm glad everybody loves Genie B. I love you too. But I have had 3 glasses of wine. And I'm feeling pretty good. And now I gotta pull the hose to the backyard of my... I'm the roommate. He owns the house, but I roommate with people, a person. So there you go. Yeah, I'm a little bit intoxicated on 3 glasses of wine. I think it's because I haven't drank in a long time. And I've lost like 100 pounds. So when you lose 100 pounds, you're not as tolerant as you used to be to alcohol. Especially if you haven't drank in a long time. So hi, my fans out there. I love that everybody's watching me. And I can't see your fingers. Why are you asking me questions? I can't see them. I don't know why I'm doing a live right now, but hey, I gotta pull this hose to the garage and shut the garage door. Don't get in trouble. I don't want to get public intoxication. You can get that in your own yard, I don't know. What was I doing? Oh, okay. Closing the garage door. I just watered the little piece of red wine. It makes me feel so fine. You're right. I'm drinking, you know, that menage a trois shit? Yeah, like, the menage a trois, but it's the dark one. I don't know what dark it is. Oh, I gotta find the end of my hose. I gotta water the rest of my plants. It's only a little bit left. I gotta go this way so I don't trip over the big sticks in the middle of the yard. I planted garlic. You know, there's a person I follow on Facebook, and he plants garlic in the fall. And I didn't know this, but it's a good thing it's my neighbor's garlic, and I'm sure that he followed the rules. But he planted garlic in the fall. It's bulbs of garlic he bought at Zamzo's or something, I don't know. It says you're supposed to water them 1 inch every week. I think my phone's really dirty. Can everybody hear me? I don't know. Anyway, 1 inch of water every week. That way garlic grows, and if it gets this little thing, I don't know, it's called a spur or something that starts with an S, you clip it off so that the garlic grows underneath the earth. And I put it in this little... And the nice thing about my roommate is, well, he's the owner of the house, but he lets me do whatever I want to the yard, so it's really nice. So I get to still have my green thumb, even though I don't have my own house. And I guess that kind of classifies me as homeless, but I roommate with someone, so, you know, hey, life is just what it is. But it's okay. I mean, I could live in my car and I'd still be happy. Oh, there's my little bird bath. I don't know if there's a hole in it or something. Can you see that? I don't know. I don't know if you can see it or not. That's what I would share with you, that I know I'm back and I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. I've had so many great things happen. So, you know that very first video I ever made that talked about Genie B having someone in prison? Well, I never went to prison, but I spent like 7 months in jail. And 5 times 5. What's 5 times 5? 5 times 5 is 45. 45! Guess what? That's how old I am for real. I turned 46 on the 25th. So That's funny. But this is only my third glass of wine. And I haven't drank in a long time. So, like, not even kidding, 10 months. And it's not that I drank all the time. Actually, that's not true. So it was 10 months ago, my last Genie B videos that I made, the last 3. So I did drink during that time, but only had drank a couple glasses of wine at that time. And radio lingo for loud and clear, 5 times 5. Yes, I'm 45. I am 45 for real. And for all those people asking, it is a wig. It is a wig. Because I like to have some added, what is it called? Where you don't want people to know your real identity. I don't remember. But it's okay. How much phone time do I have with this video? Oh, I'm at 26%. So, my skunk looks sexy. That's my skunk. I wish I had a pet skunk. My aunt told me once that she had a pet skunk, and then it climbed up in the walls. But she had the scent back sticking out. Incognito, that's right. I want to be incognito. But I mean, how can you be incognito? I think I'll stick that next here. While I'm watering my plant that gets blue flowers in the spring, summer. It's called I don't know, it has lots of little flowers on it. I think it's the hyacinthia. I transplanted it from a big pot last year to the ground. And I'm in Idaho, so we got really mild weather in the Idaho weather area. I hear a dog that like, you know, when someone, like when it steps on their foot, yelping. Anyway, yeah, I put a little extra soil in my flower beds this year, and I can't wait to do more outdoor videos. We have a lot of things planned for this year, so you guys are going to have to take a look at all my videos. So I want to do an outdoor cooking along the river, or maybe even camping, but yeah, I decided to bring Tony back in the picture because I just don't have the skills nor the time to edit the videos, and Tony is an amazing editor, so I definitely am going to utilize him this year, and he's fabulous at what he does. He gets lots of contract jobs doing it that way. But anyway, everything's blooming. How do I turn my video around? Look at all the flowers I planted. So I put in this border last year. So his whole backyard is this rock, and I put in this border. Of course, I have my empty bird thing, because I didn't know about bird things. Is that they bring mice, and I brought mice into the house this year. So I planted all these flowers last year, and they're coming back. I've got some salvia. This is salvia. And from what I've heard, salvia is like a drug that people take, and I don't know what part of the plant they take, but they get high off of it, and it's a mums. And this is, I think, catnip. But it's coming back really good, and the kitty cats will really like that. My roommate, or the owner of the house, has really a nice house. And this is my bedroom. Of course, you can see all this shit in my bedroom. Got all my jewelry. So you get an inside look at my personal space. But anyway, I planted that flower bed last year. And you guys have seen the backyard. And I was opening a bottle of wine because I don't have a wine opener. You know, a bottle screw thingy to open the bottle of wine. So it was a synthetic top. And I was struggling to get it out. Like I had put a screw in it and used a fork and bent the tongs of a fork to try to get it open. And it was not a no-go. It was a no-go completely. So it was just bending the tines of the fork and not opening the fork, or opening the bottle of wine. So my roommate's like, let me give it a laugh. So he pushes this flathead screwdriver all the way through the bottle of wine, and I was like, well, that was effective. So he got it all the way through the cork, but what he did was relieve some of the pressure. So I pushed the screwdriver all the way through the bottle, like I got on the side that wasn't punctured, and I pushed it, and it literally flew like 10 feet and ended up on top of this wall. It's a really nice kitchen. So I had to climb on the counters because I'm a short person to clean that off. It was so fun. I'm not even kidding. All over his cupboard, 10 feet away from where the bottle of wine was open. It was all over the wall. And I know it had splattered me, because look at this. Like it's all over me. I didn't even wash it off. I don't even give a fuck right now. I just want to celebrate, because I had my vaccination on Tuesday. I'm chitter-chattering here. Let's see. Oh my god. So, totally chitter-chattering right now. Like, I don't even know what to talk about. So I had to climb up on the counter, and I had to get a rag and wipe all the red wine down. Like, all this red wine down. It was so bad. And, it's a good thing, because I got a pardon, and I got classified as non-diabetic. So my healthy eating and my exercise has paid off, and the 100-pound weight loss. Look at this. I have cheeks, I have dimples that are really deep, and even though I still have a double chin because I'm getting older and loose skin, I could look at all this loose skin. But I have muscles. Like, I finally got muscles again, and I feel so good about life. I am so excited about life. And look at this finger. It's like I broke my fingernail so bad. Like down to the quick. I've never broken a fingernail so bad. And that's what life's about. 2020 is so hard for so many people. And because I work in the department that I do, like my real job, I have a real full-time job. I mean, if you think that I make a ton of money off of YouTube, I don't. A couple hundred every couple months, which is residual income, which is great. But I have to split it with my producer, which we signed a 50-50 contract. And, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for him. A bodybuilder. You see that? That's my lesbian pride right there. All the red colors. I still don't have a girlfriend, but I still love everybody. And, I'm not in a hurry. Someday I'll meet that right person that I can spend my life. And it's totally not about the sex. And I know that a lot of people think that, hey, being a lesbian is all about the sex. Well, it really isn't. It's about companionship and who I can have a life partner with. And that's really what I'm looking for. So, I have a TikTok that I put out, and I listen to all the things because, I just came out like a couple years ago, and we could talk about that. But I'm also, with my pardon, if I wanted to own a gun, I can now. If I wanted to go into medical school, because I do have a degree in communications and film and media, but I also have a degree in medical assisting, which at the time that the felony happened, I wanted to be an RN. I could go back to school and become an RN if I wanted to, but I really don't think that's where I want to be. I love doing Genie B Delishus. I love the comments that I get and the inspiration that you all give me, and I'm just gonna let this one out until my phone dies. Who cares? And here in a month, I'm gonna go see my brother and his fabulous husband. I'm gonna enjoy my birthday. I'll be 46. Who said that 46 couldn't be the greatest years of your life? Like even 50. 50 is like the new 40. 40 is like the new 30. So really, am I 46? Am I 46? I don't know. I'm in the best health of my life. And when a doctor comes in and says, I have good news and bad news for you, And he goes, first I'll give you the bad news. The bad news is I don't have to see you for another year. And the good news is I am classifying you in your medical record as non-diabetic. Cheers to that, motherfuckers. Motherfuckers, yes! So here's the secret. How did I lose all this weight? So for a year and a half, I contemplated on getting gastric bypass. I never did do the gastric bypass because when I went to my final doctor's appointment, I said, I've read a lot of articles about gastric bypass and how there's a link to a colon cancer. And I really don't think that a gastric bypass is really good for me because at that time I was 265 pounds. And the doctor says, I agree with you. I think that you should probably do a gastric sleeve because you're only 245 pounds. And I really don't recommend a gastric bypass unless you're 265 and above. By that point in time, I'd already lost 27 pounds because I had started a year prior to doing healthy things in my life. And it really is about completely changing your lifestyle. So I had a gastric sleeve, which is where they cut out 90 to 80% of your stomach. So they keep everything intact. They just cut out a large portion of the stomach that has been expanded from overeating for so long in the time. There was a time where I could eat a whole pizza to myself. Now I can eat like maybe 1.5 slices. And I'm super full. It causes me to sneeze. I eat about 1,000 calories a day, maybe 1,200 calories a day, but I take multivitamins to make up for that vitamin deficiency. If you look at my eyes, got my glasses, which I'm totally drunk right now, so they're pretty lit. I take good vitamins. My hair hasn't fallen out. My skin is loose, but I exercise like crazy. Like you should totally. My boobs went from like a, not even kidding, like a double D to like, oh, they're probably a D still, but like I went from a size 22 pounds to like a size 8, 10. Funniest places that you lose weight is wrist. Like, who would think that you would lose weight around your wrist? I am so not famous, but thank you for the compliment. I am just real me, and I love people. You know that I love people. I love people. I don't care if you're homeless. If you want something in your life, whether you're homeless or not, and a lot of times homeless are homeless because they've lost hope. They don't know where they're going next or what they're doing next. And maybe, like my friend Whitty, who said, I don't deserve a home because, I call him my friend Whitty. I've met with him once, but I was doing some research for a project I was working on in college. And, I was in my 30s going to college, and I went down to a homeless section where I knew people congregate at night when the homeless shelters are closed, and he was there, and he's like, what is a girl like you doing down here at night? It's not safe. It's like, because I want to interview you. I want to find out why you're homeless and why you choose not to go in the shelters. And he said, I was an engineer at a prominent company here in the Valley, and I decided to go have some drinks. And on my way home, I hit a family, and he killed them. And so, even though he had family in the Valley that would be willing to take him in, he chose, after prison time, to stay homeless. And he chose to stay homeless because he didn't feel like he deserved to have a family since he took somebody else's family away. And that's really sad. But I interviewed him, and it made me have more of a compassion for the homeless, because my dad had a compassion for the homeless. And on the day that my dad died, he was with someone who was homeless, a guy who was an engineer. And I don't know who he is or what he looks like, but he was there when my dad died. My dad picked him up from the homeless shelter to take him out to earn some money and feed him some lunch and feed him a spiritual thing with God, But that's all I know my take on that. I believe in God. Most High. Love you, right? I was homeless for 6 months as well. So I hear you, girl. And it's a hard life. And you do lose hope really well because people look at you differently and they treat you differently because you're just a person trying to make ends meet. And you just don't have anybody to give you that extra helping hand. You don't have family or friends that can say, hey, you don't have to be homeless. You can stay here for a while until you find this place and earn enough money. And that's really what it was about. My dad died with someone who cared. And he did. If I could find that man today, I would give him a hug and, hello! And I would tell him, thank you for not letting my dad die alone. Thank you. This is to you. No one should be alone. It is. It's Idaho. So I'm in Meridian, Idaho. And it is definitely still right here. It is 6:46. It gets daylight probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock. So yeah, I'm out here watering the plants in my roommate's backyard that he lets me put stuff in. He lets me grow my spirit, and this is not a permanent situation for me, and he knows that, I know that, but I help him out, he helps me out, so it all works out for the greater good. So yes, I don't know where you're at, but good evening, because it is official evening. Let's see, I'm trying to read your name. It says RJ Scum. Why would you have a name like that, RJ? If you take communications, that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I know that alcohol is working through me because I have to go pee. And I'm not going to take you guys pee with me, so I'm going to have to just wait a minute. Hi, owner of this house. We're not going to show him because he's a very private person. He has a very nice house. I am just going to drink the last thing of this wine. It says Menage a Trois. We all know what that one's. Better with 3, right? And it's called Midnight, and I can't read the bottom. Let the deep, dark magic of midnight embrace you. Velvety blackberry flavor linger on the lips like a stolen kiss. I've never had a stolen kiss. Well, I know that I'm drunk. Intoxication. And I have to pee, and I'm on YouTube Live, and I can't pee on the YouTube Live. Would you like to talk with them? No. Okay, he says no. So we will pee alone. I'll just put the camera down for a second. Everybody can look at the ceiling. Here we go. You can look at the ceiling. Okay, I know I'm peeing, but everybody pees. This is a natural thing of the body. I have to pee before I pee myself. Gosh, I just pee a lot. I'm really sorry this is taking so long. Here we go. Now I gotta wash my hands. Sorry, guys. At least you're gonna see me wash my hands, so that's what matters, right? Oh, my hair is a mess. Well, I think my next recipe idea is like, water on my phone. My next recipe idea is probably going to be, I don't know yet, like maybe a fruit salad or something. I think I've done that before though. I don't remember, but it'll be something healthy but not. That's what I'm kind of focusing on right now. He says, go out there and entertain the neighbors. I'm glad he's such a good sport. I mean, like, if you could have a roommate thing, you should just be a woman who roommates with someone who's an older man. Because it works. You have your own space, and you leave each other the fuck alone, and of course he gives me grief. Yeah, turkey burger. I use turkey burger all the time. Like, oh my gosh, I have my makeup on. That's okay. I use turkey burger in a lot of stuff because when I first had the gastric sleeve, I couldn't tolerate beef at all. Like, it was so heavy. My doctor told me to give up beef like a year and a half ago because he says that beef doesn't digest well and it causes a lot more other problems. He says you should stick to like lamb, turkey, chicken, and just leave that. And what I noticed is every once in a while I have a hamburger, like a hamburger, because I went on like an 8-mile bike ride. I mountain bike, and it was so fun. I'm getting braver, going over the dumps and stuff. I know, like, I haven't had a steak. Not even kidding, in so long. I've had a hamburger, but I haven't had a steak. I crave steak, and then the idea of having it, because really I can only eat like a palm-sized portion of steak, where I used to be able to eat like a whole ribeye. So go spend $20 on a steak or $30 or whatever, and you're gonna have to take 3/4 of it home. So it's always funny when I go to the restaurants or something because I love seafood. Oh, fuck yeah! I feel so much healthier. So if you guys are overweight and you're thinking about gastric sleeve, and you're thinking about a gastric sleeve or about gastric bypass, do it. Don't even wait. Don't even second guess it. I mean, gastric sleeve, if you don't have a lot of gastric reflux, but I realized the number one cause of my gastric reflux is by drinking coffee. This is rare, because this is Jazz. Lena. Lena is a rescue kitty. She has her ear cut. You notice that you can see her ear. She's looking at herself. She's a feral kitty. So she was rescued by my landowner. He loves animals, and matter of fact, he would cry first, like if an animal ever got hurt. But one of her ears is cut, and through the window she's okay. I can touch the window and stuff. But if she was not through the window, she would run away. She's feral. She's so sweet though. She'll come up and like hit the back of my leg. She's so curious, and that's why she's living here, because she's just so curious. She's sick, had her shots, and she's due for some new shots, but we can't catch her. So I have tried catching her, but it's so traumatizing. I've tried putting like drugs in her food. I'm just gonna leave her. Like, why even bother? Because she's a wild kitty, and she loves being here, and there's 2 other kitties that live with her, and she gets along with them so well. She's never peed on anything she's not supposed to, and she's just a really cool kitty. Aren't you, Daddy? Hi, Daddy. You see yourself on video? She's so curious. It's so cute. Anyway, if you ever second guess it, don't. Because to me it was a lifesaver. Thank you, Mr. Joel 59. I don't know where you are in the United States or in another country, but thank you so much for watching my video today. So yes, Genie's getting drunk because Genie hasn't drunk or drank in a long time, and I'm finishing off a bottle of wine in one night, which probably will give me alcohol poisoning. And I do have to work tomorrow, and I work in a call center from home. This should be interesting. I wonder if I'll have a hangover. I'll just take some vitamin C before I go to bed and drink a lot of water. So what is everybody doing tonight? Tell me about your life. How has 2020 treated you? What has 2021 brought you? I want to know about your life. You guys have heard enough about mine. I'm just an average person. I roommate with an older man. You're seeing me without makeup. And my teeth were brushed this morning, but they're not probably the cleanest right now because I'm drinking that wine. I'm out here watering my plants because I figure like these bulbs must need water. I don't know much about planting. But if the garlic needs water, like 1 inch of water a week, why not the tulips and the irises or whatever is coming up through the ground? Like, I totally miss this stuff. Look at how big this bunch is. Look at how many tulips are there. Like, I dug up all these plants and spread them out last year, thinking that they would successfully germinate everywhere. Oh, conspiracy theories. Oh my god. All you have to do is say QAnon. People believe in that shit. My sister, she believes in that shit. Oh my god. If I wasn't into science, and I love science, and I read a lot of medical, research and stuff, if I didn't know a lot of that stuff, I probably would have fallen for these conspiracy theories going around. Like, people think that Biden's a sexual predator. I mean, maybe he is, but like, in all reality, without that Viagra, would he really be able to get it up? I mean, and what kind of sexual predator is he? And I do video and media, and I know how easy it is to, like, you can embed anything you want into any video. So how can anybody believe anything they see on TV or social media? Like, why? With the technology that there is today, how can anybody even do conspiracy theories? Are there aliens? Maybe. I mean, is there a possibility? Oh, thank you. I mean, the first thing they teach you in your first semester of college is to critically think about what you're reading and listening to, right? Pro Marty. I don't even know what that is. You're going to have to explain that definition there. I'm going to have to look that shit up. I would say question everything. Like, the first thing that we should teach our children, and we teach everybody, is question everything you see, everything you hear. Like, if somebody says, oh, I heard this from so-and-so the other day, or we're having a shortage of ketchup, you should probably go and check your resources. Why are we having a shortage of ketchup? Is it because of Biden? Because that's going to be the first thing. I mean, right? They're always gonna say the president is the cause of everything, but really, oh, that's right. Terminator, right? Artificial intelligence. I mean, really. I mean, if you think about it, artificial intelligence is a real possibility. Look at where they've come. They can now send these robot dogs into battle, but they don't last very long. So, what do you think they're going to work on next? That battery, right? But what a great way to do battle. Less human casualties. But where does that bring us at the end, right? Well, there's conspiracy theories. Holy shit. I need to pull this rope around. Oh, it's not a rope, it's a hose. I love the Terminator movies. Do you remember RoboCop? You remember RoboCop? They were like SPF 2000. We wear like SPF 100. I mean, it just was a precursor to what we're doing to our environment, right? So, I did take environmental studies as a fun course. Well, yeah, and people make money off of war. So there is a pro and con to war. Death. There's always that person in the crowd. Always that person in the crowd. We're going to say that capitalism wants war because they make a lot of money off of war. But if you look at our national deficit in the United States, you'll see that look at the time that we paid off World War II. Oh, that's not my forte. Talk about social theories. I can tell you about that. Like what you watch on the news, and it creates a fear in people. If people are afraid, they go get vaccinated. I've been vaccinated twice. I'm not going to lie to you. When I was a medical assistant, I gave out many vaccinations. And I had a lady who came in for vaccination, and she told the doctor, she was like, I'm not vaccinating my kids because the MMR, which is measles, mumps, and rubella, was made from aborted fetuses. It was. They were aborted fetuses from the 1970s. But where do you think DNA comes from? Where do you think that RNA comes from? We have to get it from somewhere, right? But, you know, I don't want to go on the whole thing. A virtual date with me when I've had too much to drink and I talk too much. Yeah. If you look at the CDC or the World Health Organization in the 1970s, they used, because abortion was really high at that time. And it is disturbing for a lot of people. But if you think about it, where do you think you get burn grafts from? Think about that. You need to look at it. Right? In the military, you get a ton of shots because you're going to go to all kinds of countries where they got illnesses that we wouldn't even think about and we wouldn't even want to get here. So vaccinations are important to keep you alive. And that's exactly the whole thing. Yeah. Where do you think x-rays came from? Think about that. Where did x-rays come from? We did some nuclear testing and we saw that, hey, when we did some nuclear testing, or like when we did Hiroshima, we noticed that the people's imprints of their bones were imprinted on the walls, right? So we have negatives that create positives. But, if you think about it too, the other thing people need to think about is we don't have as many abortions that are happening nowadays as they used to be. We have a lot less teenage pregnancies. We have a lot more preventative measures to prevent pregnancy, so don't worry about that stuff right now. I mean, they use eggs, and that's why they ask you if you're allergic to egg products when you get a vaccine. Are you allergic to egg products? Because guess where they grow those vaccines? A lot of times eggs. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do know a little bit. And at the same time, at the end of the day, is it worth it in the 1970s for those aborted fetuses to prevent someone from going deaf and blind? I had a child that babysat my children when they were little, and she was completely deaf. She was so cool. Her name was Christina. Lived in Kansas. And she got measles, rubella, when she was little, and it caused her to go deaf. If she'd gotten that vaccine, she wouldn't have been deaf. It doesn't always kill you, but sometimes the lasting effects are permanent. My dad, he had a 4-inch leg difference. He had polio, and that's a vaccine. So is it worth it at the end of the day for someone who had an unwanted pregnancy to save your life? Morally, it's really something that you have to question yourself. I'm not against it or for it. If you believe in it, if you don't, that's your thing. That's what makes America so great, is because we get to choose. We get to choose those things. But enough on a political speech. How's everybody doing? Where's my wine? Let's turn some water on so I can finish watering these plants before the end of night. So I'm so excited because last year I went to Busch Gardens and my butt was too big to fit on this ride. And of course I'm totally terrified of the Busch Gardens ride. This is one that's like, you're dangling from the seat. You're dangling from the seat like you're like hanging underneath the roller coaster, and I already had a hard time on the cheetah that I had like this, felt like a 90-degree drop. Like I almost passed out. I closed my eyes the whole time. A phonograph needle, huh? You'll have to explain that to me. Like I know them in gauges. Like the normal vaccination gauge is probably like 27, 21. I draw blood a lot. I mean, when I was in the phlebotomy and medical assisting, so I've given a lot of vaccinations out and I've drawn a lot of blood. So I don't know what a phonograph needle is. You'll have to explain it because I've been out of the medical field since 2021. Well, me too. I'm drinking, of course, and I'm my only audience other than the people that respond. So you'll have to tell me what that is. I'm interested. Please explain. I know that RNA is a specific spot of the DNA. It's like the messenger of the DNA. And that messenger tells your T cells to recognize a specific vaccine. So I'm smart enough to know that. But I'm probably a little ADHD to remember the specifics of it. Yay. I think my daughter says that I'm ADHD, but I've never been truly diagnosed. But I did see in the medical records that once a doctor said that I was a little bit ADD. It's okay. Because when I'm nervous and I meet new people, I talk a lot. So probably I'm a little bit. That's okay. That's not a problem. So, I have a question for you, for any painters out there. So, little girl, the little feral kitty, she loves to climb. Mark had the house painted. Hey! I have other friends in Maine. Stephanie, hello. Kate, hello. She's a long-time follower. You notice this? Let me just bring you down to Python here. Should a cat have soaked paint like that after it was just painted last summer? I mean, I have paint to cover it up, and the guy told me I could do it because, you know, I'm Genie B Delishus. I can do anything. I can change oil, a water pump. I could cook you a meal. I can do a lot of stuff because I'm a multi-purpose woman. What did I do with my wine? Oh, there it is. So, I thought it was kind of weird because this paint is really reflective of water. Like I spray water. We had a really bad dust storm and it like left splotches all over the windows, so I came out here and cleaned the windows. And I noticed when I spray the paint that's on there now, like it completely beads up and rolls down. So that seems like a really cool paint. But on that one pole where the cats like to jump up and like try to climb up it, it has been ripped to shreds. I don't know if that's normal or not. Like, did they paint the outside of the house because it's bad paint? Because I told the owner of the house that I don't know if that was the right paint, but this guy knew what he was doing, I think. I mean, he painted this house in like 3 days by himself. I was really worried because it was like 100-degree temperature. Oh, I have to show you. Look at this. Daffodils. They're not going to be here for long. They already brought out the tulips. Oh! Who doesn't like flowers? Even if you're a guy, you should like flowers. Woo! Oh, I'm getting dizzy. Bending over for too long. Cheers to everybody. Cheers to everybody. Need a water cylinder or something, yeah. I don't think them climbing up the pole is going to cause it to feel like that, right? I think so. I think that he may have been taken. Maybe I'll let that water like that. I'll sit down on the cement. He's worried about the neighbors. The neighbors next to us, the older people, and super cool. Fred, he's from California or whatever, but super cool. So like Idahoans used to think like back in the early 90s, they're like, oh, Californians, but they have better Idaho so much. So, I mean, we are a bunch of hicks up here. And so let's go on another subject, like people of color, right? So Idaho being a mostly white state, like I grew up in an all-white town other than Native Americans, that's all we had, whites, Native Americans. When I saw my first person of color, I was amazed. Like, I was amazed. Like, so you become like hyper aware and you want to study them because that's who I am. I just want to study people. And I think it was the coolest thing that someone could be so beautiful in a different way than I was. Well, my phone finally died and I'm laying in bed about ready to pass out. So, I love you guys. Keep on watching Genie B, Delishus. So on to my last thing that I was saying is that Idaho doesn't have a very diverse culture. There's Native Americans, Hispanics, and whites, and now we're seeing a lot more African Americans. And it's awesome. And I love it. Why? Diversity. Yay! Okay, I have flying down my arm. I'm flying down my arm. I'm just gonna sleep, and then I'll wake up in the morning and shower and get it all off before work. So, peace to you all. You have a good night. Take care. I don't know how to end you. I had peanut butter on some bread, so I don't want to protein.